setbacks, even falls on the way to a championship. But Netty Kim has skated her way through it all. Next week, the 18-year-old Kim, who is already Canada's best, will compete in Birmingham, England at the World Figure Skating Championships. Tonight, Primetime's Alan Abel takes to the ice with a skater on the edge.
Hockey at Maple Leaf Gardens. The Toronto Maple Leafs are pleased to welcome a Toronto native whose talents on the ice led to her winning the Canadian Women's Figure Skating Championship in Halifax on January 15th.
At center ice, without a stick, Netty Kim, a somewhat unexpected sovereign of every rink in Canada, where women skate for grace rather than goals. At the Nationals, Netty Kim came to the double jump at the end of her long program, and she blew it.
Final jump series, double axel, and a double toe loop. First major mistake of the evening.
Tried again and nailed it.
Came back to do it anyway.
That's why she is Canada's new champion. Yet once, she had quit skating in disillusionment and pain. In this sport of elegance and explosive celebrity, the next level, the supreme level, awaits her. Next in England, it will be a gigantic step up. For Canada's newest champion, this is the moment the universe changes. A time for a literal cross and pressure and fame. An initiation into the world of Tonya and Nancy, Surya, Oksana and Katarina. Soon to be the world of Netty Kim. The Halifax medal ceremony. Barbara Ann Scott, twirling idol of another age, passing the title to Netty Kim. In the mid-90s, figure skating has become a big and sometimes bizarre idyll as a patch of ice, a high school classroom, and her family's North York, Ontario home.
Straight, keep it straight, move it, move your butt.
She's viewing her championship performance, mouthing the thoughts a skater must bury under a perpetual smile.
Triple loop coming up, push into it.
If you had not added the jump you missed at the very end, you wouldn't have won the championship.
Probably not.
Probably not.
It's a mask that hides the physical and mental toll of the performance.
I've never actually paid too much attention to this display, but now that I have, now that I'm trying to kind of looking at this as a whole, I kind of see it as a build-up of all my accomplishments towards this year. This is the very first one I ever got.
I see.
This one, this other one over here.
Wow.
Oh.
How old were you?
1984, so I was about 7.
Netty began, as so many girls do, with lace and wobbly ankles. But future champions soon demonstrate an affinity for that sets them apart. In 1991, she was Canada's national junior champion. And then, a year later, jumped and decided, after years of total commitment, to give up and walk away.
That year was a rough year for me, just being a teenager. I was 16, and I was going through puberty, and I was just trying to find myself that year, and it was very hard for me to go through. And that injury just topped it all off, and I felt like it was all coming down to nothing, and I didn't know why I was doing anything. I decided that maybe this was a sign that maybe I had to move on with my life. And I decided at that point that I would live a normal life.
Netty's mother, Kim Kyung Lee, was shattered, not for herself, but for her daughter.
I was crying so hard because, I know she loves skating. Even if she is a hard time, been through a hard time with skating, I know, in her heart, I know she loves skating. But that's why, I really crying.
Netty came to understand that she had to skate. It's like a natural.
I just woke up one day and really dug deep down in my heart and I knew that I wanted to skate and that I really missed competing.
So the old routine was resumed. Pick up each new to the Upper Canada Skating Club. Then 3 or more hours of skating and conditioning. Mrs. Kim chauffeurs her daughter every day. The Canadian champion can jump, but she can't drive. Harrison has been Netty's coach since she was 6. She'll be the first of his skaters to compete at a World Senior Championship in his 25-year coaching. The speed and suppleness of the best skaters conceals a training regimen as grueling as any contact sport. Winning the Canadian title means not rest, but even more work. But this is the work that Netty chose when she chose to end her retirement.
At the time it happened and Netty made the decision to retire, we had Mrs. Kim and Mr. Kim, Netty and myself had a meeting at her home, and we sat down and we looked at all the different things that were happening. And I think Netty at that point couldn't identify what the problems really were. She just knew that she wasn't feeling comfortable. And the end result was, I think all 3 of us supported Netty in the fact that she had to work out her own life and figure out what she wanted to do with it. And so all 3 of us said in our own ways, but it's just something you have to accept and deal with and go on with.
Netty has very little time to perfect a routine that narrowly won her the Canadian title. If she misses a jump in England, she's unlikely to stand in the top 2 dozen, let alone on the podium. Her goal, and Coach Emerson's, is to try to crack the top 10, to make a good first impression on the judges, with the next Olympic Winter Games still 3 long years and thousands of hours of practice in the future.
Okay, good. Can I go home now? Is that it? Can I go home now?
At the root of Netty Kim's success is a firmly anchored family life, centered around a convenience store in Toronto.
See Hetty in the shop. Yeah? When is Hetty coming to the shop? Is she coming?
It's the kind of business that's characteristic of the Korean-Canadian experience. The Kims came to Canada in 1972, and, says father Kim Young-sam, his daughter's success has been well worth the toll of time and dollars.
I sing for her. So I think that's our duty, and we are doing these things with a happy mind. Yes.
Netty, we are proud of you because you are a good Christian champion.
Netty's constituency includes Canada's millions of skating fans and Toronto's 40,000 Koreans.
우리 온 성도들의 기도에 힘입어서 이제 앞으로 우리와
Church and community are rallying behind their champion, raising thousands of dollars in her support. And they look to Netty Kim to help bridge the ocean that separates her native Canada from the Korea that was her parents' world.
After you, I'm gonna, okay?
Reach in. Go, 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 go.
But championships are won with practice. Back at the arena with her choreographer, Tracy Sawyer, the grind is unending. More spins, more loops. Watched by her mother and her older sister, Lisa. Those who watch Canadian figure skating with an expert eye see in Netty Kim a talented but still developing competitor.
Ooh, very good.
Beverly Smith covers the sport for the Globe and Mail.
What she gave and what judges liked was that she offers the total package. She has a nicely laid out program where the jumps are put in very favorable places and one flows very nicely from, one element to the next. She's a very graceful skater. She offers enough triple jumps and lands them fairly well. She has nice body positions. She seems to have a feeling for music, which is a great asset because that's what presentation is all about.
What Netty needs, Smith says, is an added flair.
There's sometimes when you watch some of the very best figure skaters that the hair stands up in the back of your neck. She doesn't do that yet, but skaters, when they're developing, are concentrating so much on their technical aspects that they sometimes neglect the artistic aspects or the projection aspects, and that may come with time.
Are you frightened?
No. I think initially I was, but as the days pass, I think I'm getting more excited than anything.
When you look at the Olympics, at the World Championships, do you see skaters at a level? How close do you feel you are to them?
I used to think that they were on a plateau that I could never possibly reach. But through this year, I've learned that you don't really have to be extra special or a spectacular person to be a champion. And I think just through hard work and positive attitude, you can achieve that.
Elizabeth Manley understands the leap that Netty Kim is about to make. The Olympic silver medalist of 1988 now plays Cinderella in a professional ice show. She remembers her first entry on the World Championship stage as a rather rude awakening.
Oh, it was tough. I mean, when I first went to the World Championship, I remember specifically it was Copenhagen, Denmark, and in the very first compulsory figure, back when we had the compulsory figures, I was sitting in 33rd spot, and it is heartbreaking. You just kind of think, well, I'm Canadian champion, and I'm going to walk in here, and I'm going to be considered one of the better ones, but it's a tough road. It's definitely a time-consuming situation. You got to kind of wait your time, prove yourself, and you have to kind of break into that scene where they know who you are.
Awaiting the flight to England and her first taste of her sport's major leagues, 18-year-old Netty Kim passes a Saturday night doing her chores at a university science student company.
Gosh, once a year. What is that?
In a little while, Netty will be competing in one of the loneliest of athletic endeavors, at the highest level of one of the most demanding and rewarding sports of all. For Primetime News, I'm Alan Abel.
And we'll keep our fingers crossed. Please stay with us now when CBC Primetime returns. We're at the movies.